So in continuation with the current electricity lesson, I want to teach you what is electron mobility. It is a very important question. Define electron mobility. Mobility shows that drift velocity, it's mobile, the electrons. Drift velocity acquired per electric field is what is called electron mobility. So drift velocity is, as you know, is capital E into small e by m into relaxation time by capital E. Thus you get a new formula, E by m into relaxation time. And can you see E is a charge, m is a mass, relaxation time. So then this is what is electron mobility, it's mu or m. So this is one thing that I didn't mention before. And there is a derivation in the textbook for the combination of cells in series and parallel. Combination of resistors and series and parallel, you already know, I don't have to teach you, you've learned it in 10th standard. This is combination of cells in series and in parallel. So you will have this as a derivation which comes in every exam, but now that it's become MCQs, I'm not sure, but it's very important in general. So you have a battery here, that you have two cells connected in series. Okay, basically you have a resistance R1, this has got a resistance R2. This battery is of EMF E1, this is of EMF E2. And suppose let's name this point as A, this point as B, this here as C. Supposing a current I is entering in from C to A, it's the same current that's going to flow through because the entire arrangement is in series. And since you know that I've taught you one derivation which is the crux of this lesson, which is V is equal to E minus IR. Okay, so you know that the total potential here will be V1 plus V2 because they are in series. So therefore it's E1 minus IR1 plus E2 plus IR2 will be the total potential. E2 minus IR2. Applying this formula which forms the basis of this lesson, V is equal to E minus IR. The total potential therefore is E1 minus IR1 plus E2 minus IR2. So combining E1 plus E2 together and minus of I into R1 plus R2 together. So you get a format like V is equal to E minus IR. So then the equivalent E equivalent is just E1 plus E2. As I said, when the negative is connected to positive, it will always be E1 plus E2 only. And minus I into, so this becomes R equivalent. This becomes R equivalent. Internal resistance equivalent, and this becomes E1 plus E2 is E equivalent, and R1 plus R2 is the resistance equivalent. So it's as simple as that. So simple, isn't it? So what happens when it's connected in series, in parallel like this? It's connected in parallel. A current is flowing through like this. You know it's going to be splitting up as I1 and I2. And this is E1 and this is E2, and an internal resistance R1, this is internal resistance R2, and it comes out as I. And the whole crux of the lesson is V is equal to E minus IR. But here the current I is what is getting split into I1 plus I2. So then therefore you write an expression for I here, which is E minus V by R. Will be I, correct? Taking this side, E minus V by R. So let's apply that in this case. I1 will be E1 minus V, because V is anyway a constant, only E1 and E2 are differing, correct? The potential across a parallel connection is always constant. E1 by R1 plus E2 minus V by R2 is what is I. Now split this up. E1 by R1 plus E2 by R2 minus V into 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. Let's write it like that, consolidating. Now let's take LCM. E1 R2 plus E2 R1 by R1 R2 minus V into, again LCM is R1 R2, so it's R2 plus R1. Now what you have to do is you want V is equal to, that format V is equal to E minus IR, therefore you're shifting this to that side and shifting this to this side. You must remember that's the most important step. V into R2 plus R1 by R1 R2 is equal to E1 R2 plus E2 R1 by R1 R2 minus I. So I'm going to take this to the right side. Okay, so V is equal to E1 R1 plus E2, E1 R2 plus E2 R1, E1 R2 plus E2 R1, fine. When I take this here, the R1 R2 will get cancelled. I'll get the R1 plus R2 the denominator minus I into R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. Thus the subform B is equal to E equivalent minus I R equivalent, and therefore E equivalent is this and R equivalent is this. So this is the way we find the equivalent resistance, internal resistance, and R equivalent. R equivalent is this and E equivalent is this. With the case of series and parallel connection, this is something I didn't teach you, so then I'm including it here. It's very, very important derivation. Now coming back to the numericals that I've done for my class, the wire of radius 4r, okay, that's radius, okay, radius 4r is bent in the form of circle. The radius is 4r. Wire of radius 4r is bent in the form of, okay, maybe a length 4r. I think it's a wire of length 4r is bent in the form of circle. So the first upper half will be 2r and the lower half will obviously be 2r. So I think it's the wire of length 4r, okay. Just make sure you change that from PDF. So the bent in the form of circle, and they want you to find there's A and B are the two terminals, okay, and so this becomes 2 ohms and 2 ohms obviously. Oh, the wire of resistance 4 ohms, okay, I'm sorry, a wire of resistance 4 ohms. A total resistance of the wire is 4 ohms. It's bent in the form of a circle, which means the upper half is 2 ohms and the lower half becomes 2 ohms. Yeah? Okay. And this behaves like a parallel connection, because they are asking about the terminal. They have split it into terminals A and B at the end, so it becomes upper half becomes a separate resistor, lower half becomes a separate resistor like this, and so, okay. So then can you see that it is R1 into R2 by R1 plus R2 is the equivalent resistance. So thus you find R1 into R2 is 4R square by R1 plus R2 is 4R, and hence you get R. So that was an easy sum. I don't have to really write it. Okay, next sum, you look at this. This is a given diagram. In this given diagram you can see that this 30 ohms and this 30 ohms which are circled here, can you see, are in series? So then it's 30 plus 30 is just directly 60. And that 60 with this 30 ohms is going to be in parallel. So it's 30 into 60 by 30 plus 60. So we found the AB. You found the equivalent total resistance. The battery's voltage is 2 volts, hence you can calculate the current. I is equal to V by R. So 2 by the equivalent resistance that you calculated, which is 20, so thus you can find the value of the current. Such a simple circuit, okay. Okay. Now let's go to the next diagram. You have a connection like this. Can you see this R3 and R4 on the right side become series? So it's 5 plus 10, 15 ohms, and that is going to be in parallel with this R2, which is 10 ohms. So 10 into 15 by 10 plus 15, and that's then going to be in series with this 18 ohms. You understand? So that's what I've done, and I found the equivalent resistance. I know the total voltage is 60 volts, and I is equal to V by R, and I get the total current in the circuit. So let's go to fourth sum. I'm not writing all the sums because it's all self-explanatory. You have a connection like this. Can you see? And as you can see that R2 and R3 are in series. The R2 and R3 are just in series. Yeah. So then it's 10 plus 10, 20, and that's in parallel with R5. So 20 is in parallel with R5, which is 10 ohms. So 10 into 20 by 10 plus 20, thus you get the equivalent resistance with 20 by 3. And now if you look at this R1 and R4 with 20 by 3 are all in series. The bottom, this here. So these are all in series, so then therefore you can just add it up and get the value of total resistance. So that was easy. There's no battery or anything here for you to find out the current values, so just leave it like that. So look at this diagram. I hope you can understand the diagram. I'll redo that here. So you have a 3 ohm resistor here, and you have very clear cut endpoints A and B, from which you have a 3 ohm resistor, and from here to here you have a 6 ohm resistor. This is a 3 ohm, this is a 6 ohm. Then another 3 ohm that comes here, another 6 ohms that goes here. 6 ohms and 3 ohms. Another 3 ohms that comes here, and another 6 ohms that goes here. Another 3 ohms that comes here, another 6 ohms that goes here. Another 3 ohms that goes here for the change, okay? This is 3 ohms. So set up like this, okay? Then they have named it as A, B, C, D, E, okay? This is C, this is D, this is E, and this is F. They named it like that. So I'm not sure you understood and you're not confused with my circles there. You know what, I just look at this diagram. I have a tendency, I'm just showing you the tendency in which I will do the sum. I will have a tendency to combine this 3 ohms and 3 ohms and make it into series. That would be my tendency. Okay, you might also think another tendency is you would like to combine this, but I would not combine, I'll not do this. Why? Because the question is about finding the equivalent resistance between A and B, which means the circuit goes like this. That is the point you should know. So therefore I can't consider the right one to be in this, these to be in series. I can't do that. Why? Because they specified A and B to be specific terminals from which the circuit goes externally. So that will only become parallel. So therefore I can't proceed from the right. The normal tendency is to look at the right, but I can't look at the right here, and you know why? Because when this is an external circuit which will go here, which even though they don't give this line, I know that when there is A and B here as the terminals, and the question is about finding the equivalent resistance between A and B, then I should know that this circuit is getting extended, and these two will not be in series. That's the first thing. Therefore, I have to proceed the sum only from the left side as I decided. It's unusual because if you see all these sums, previous sums I have been doing it from the right. So let's just, so this 3 and this 3 makes it 6. That 6 and this 6 ohms makes it parallel. Here, can you see it's getting split here? So it's parallel. So it's 6 into 6 by 6 plus 6, which is 36 by 12, 12 3 is 36. So that becomes 3. And that 3 and this 3 is now going to be in series. Correct? That 3 and this 3, so it's going to become 3 plus 3, 6 with this circled one, it's going to become 6 ohms. And with that 6 ohms and this 6 ohms, it's going to be in parallel. You understand what I'm saying? So, have I done the sum or I haven't done the sum? I think I've just explained and left it like that. Okay. So let's do it from the beginning. I hope you understood what I have done here. Just a quick recap, just in case you have not understood what I'm saying. I cannot do the sum from the right. I have to do the sum from the left, where there's a 3 ohm and 3 ohm, which both are in series, which will constitute to 6 ohms together. That 6 ohms and this 6 ohms, this 6 ohms will be in parallel, because it's getting split like that. So 6 and 6 is 6 into 6 by 6 plus 6, which is 36 by 12, so 3 ohms. This 3 ohms with this 3 ohms here, that is going to be in series, so 3 plus 3 is 6. And that 6 ohms with this 6 ohms, this 6 ohms here will be in parallel because it's getting split. So it's 6 into 6 by 6 plus 6 again, which is resulting in 3 ohms. That 3 ohms and this 3 ohms are in series. So it's together 6 ohms. And that 6 ohms and till here, and this 6 ohms is going to be in parallel because it's getting split. So again I'll get another 3 ohms. And this 3 ohms and this 3 ohms will be in series. So together it will become, in that case it will become series, so 3 plus 3, 6 ohms. And that 6 ohms till here and this 3 ohms are going to be in parallel. This one here are going to be in parallel. So it's 6 into 3 by 6 plus 3. 6 3s are 18, 6 plus 3 is 9. So you get 2 ohms, and that's quite a tricky sum. Can you see? So when they have put up terminal A and B, it works differently. The 2 ohms is the total answer. So look at the next question. So can you see this question? You have a 6 ohms and a 12 ohms here, and 12 ohms and 6 ohms here. Look at the center. Oh, what I notice here, can you see it's like a Wheatstone's bridge, the resistance on the top 6 by the resistance at the bottom, and this is 12 by 6. Oh, it's not, it's 1 by 2 here and it's 2 here. The left side, and that is what is given here and what is given on the right, I thought would make a proportionate connection. P by Q is equal to R by S format. It's not. So in that, if it is proportional, I can assume that no current is flowing through this circuit, central circuit. So I can assume P and Q are in series and R and S are in series. Okay, but even otherwise the switch is kept open here. Switch is kept open here. So if it's kept open, which means there's no current flowing through. So even though the bridge is not a balanced bridge, the resistors are not proportional. That is, the left side 6 by 12 is not equal to the right side 12 by 6. So it's 1 by 2 and 2, they are not proportional. So then the proportionality of Wheatstone's bridge method is not going to work here. So supposing the switch is open and the switch is closed, there are two conditions. It's not a Wheatstone's bridge sum totally, it's a different sum. When the switch is open, no current is flowing through, and therefore the top portion of 6 and the 12 will behave like series. And the bottom portion of 12 and the 6 ohms will behave like series because no current is flowing through here. So this is 6 plus 12, 18, this is 6 plus 12, 18, and those two are in parallel. Yeah? So then 18 into 18 by 18 plus 18. That will be the case when the switch is open. When the switch is open. When the switch is closed, which means definitely a current can go through the middle, switch is closed, I'm sorry. When the switch is closed, definitely the current is going to get split. So in that case, if you see, this is 6 ohms and this 12 ohms, these two to be treated as parallel. This 12 ohms and this 6 ohms, these two to be treated as parallel. First setup, okay. First is to do those as parallel. So then this is 6 into 12 by 6 plus 12, which will be 12 6 72 plus 18, and so it's 4 ohms. And this will also be the same anyway. There's a 4 ohms and a 4 ohms, and those two are together in series. That's 8 ohms. So there's a different moment, but there's no resistor here. It's just a wire. So I could consider these two to be in parallel, these two to be in parallel, and the resultant these two to be in series. So you should understand these tricks of solving this resistance sums. Most of these are only entrance exam questions. And look at this picture here. You have a 5 ohm resistor on the top, a 10 ohm which is going like this, another 10 ohm which is going like this, another 10 ohm like this, another 10 ohm like this, and a straight wires, and a 5 ohm here, and an ammeter. The wire go. This is a 5 ohm, this is 10, and this is 10, this is 10, and this is 10, and this is again 5. And it's connected to a 10 volt battery, whatever it is, and this is an ammeter. And can you see that when I look at the sum, I can't consider this 10 ohm and this 10 ohm in series, no, because it's getting split here. Therefore, you should remember that this 10 and this 10 are in parallel, this 10 and this 10 are in parallel, and those two eventually will become in series. So it's 10 into 10 by 10 plus 10, which will be 100 by 20, which is 5 ohms for left ring and 5 ohms for the right ring, and 5 plus 5 is 10. So the top 5 and this 10 and this 5 at the bottom will become 5, a 10 and a 5. All the three of them will be in parallel. So it's just 1 by 5 plus 1 by 10 plus 1 by 5, and you get the equivalent resistance. The voltage is given, probably they are asking you about the current in the circuit. You find the equivalent resistance reciprocal without forgetting, and then I is equal to V by R, and the rest of it is known story. I don't have to explain. So let's go to the next derivation. It's a next numerical. Can you see the moment I see the sum? 5 ohm and a 5 ohm here. Those two are series, so it's 10 ohms. That 10 and this 30 are in parallel. So 30 into 10 by 30 plus 10. And that and this 15 ohm are again in parallel. So that equivalent, in this 15 are again, I've done the calculation here, are again in parallel. So 15 into 30 by 4 by 15 plus 30 by 4. So is there another resistance? Yes, I have another resistance here at the bottom. those two will be in series. So this equivalent that I found plus another resistance of R plus another resistance, the equivalent happens to be say okay, 10 ohms is the equivalent resistance. That okay, no, the equivalent resistance happens to be 5 ohms in calculation. Can you see my calculations here? So that 5 plus, can you see that there is a 10 ohm resistor? This is 10, okay, this is a 10, sorry about my bad handwriting, and there is a unknown resistance R. So 10 plus R plus, okay, so 10 plus R plus the equivalent resistance of the remaining, which is 5 ohms, will be the total resistance in the circuit. And I is equal to V by R, which is a 10 plus 5 is 15, 15 plus R. What is the potential V? Can you see that the battery is here and another battery is connected, which is negative is connected to negative, and I told you we have to subtract E1 minus E2, so the equivalent EMF will be just 4 volts. So it's 6 minus 2. You know, when they connected, it has to be 6 minus 2, negative is connected to negative. So 6 minus 2 is the equivalent voltage, and the equivalent resistance 15 plus R, and if the current is being given, can you see 0.2 amps? Equate it to 0.2 amps and thus find the unknown resistance R. Again, these are all entrance point of view. Say up to a level of a VAT entrance exam or an SSN entrance exam. Not to JEE mains level, but still, okay. So then look at this sum. So look at this sum. So then you have resistors like this. 1 ohm and 3 ohm and a 3 ohm and a 1 ohm, which is connected to 10 volt. Okay, actually speaking 1 and 3 are in series, 3 and 1 are in series. Yeah, but why is that they've given a point A and B at the center? So that question must be different. Okay, the question I have not written here, though I have not written here, I am going to tell you, they are asking about the potential difference between A and B. The question is about the potential difference between A and B. These are all the sums from Aurora. If you have Aurora, you can straight away open Aurora and look for these questions. And try more sums if you have time, but these sums, what I've done is more than sufficient. So it's about the potential difference between A and B. So what do we do now? Okay. It's been given, okay, the currents are not given, okay. The question, what is given is, the question goes like this. There's a 1 ohm and a 3 ohm, and a 3 ohm and a 1 ohm, and eventually in this 1 ohm and 3 ohm is in series, and this 3 ohm and 1 ohm is in series. You know, the current is going to get split proportionately only. So this is 10 volt, and I can find the current by equivalent resistance. At the top is 4 ohms, at the bottom is also 4 ohms, and so then the current is going what's the equivalent resistance? 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, which is 2 by 4, which is 1 by 2, which is 0.5 amps is the current, and it's going to split equally, and therefore I've written 1 by 2 0.5, 0.25. What I've written here? Okay, it's okay. You found the equivalent resistance, and I is equal to V by R. V is 10 ohms by R is 0.5 or 0.5. So therefore it will become 100 by 5 is 20. Okay. What is it? I'm doing wrong. In a series connection, these two are parallel. So did I reciprocal it? I didn't reciprocal it. I think the equivalent resistance. So it's you know, it's 4 and 4 are forming a parallel combination. So 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4, or in other words 4 into 4 by 4 plus 4. That's easy, so I won't forget to reciprocal. So 16 by 8 is 2. So 2 is equivalent resistance, R equivalent. And B is equal to I by R will be 10 by 10 if the 10 ohms is the same. So it's 4 into 4 by 4 plus 4, 16 by 8. So it's 2 ohms. And that 2 ohms, I want to find the current through the through the circuit. That's I is equal to V by R, which is 10 by 2. This will give me 5 amps. The 5 amps will be broken up into 2.5 and 2.5. Yeah, that's exactly what I've written here. So So it's 2.5 amps. That is how we find the current to be 2.5 amps. In general, you have to do that. Now that you know the current, you come back to the point A and B. And now we are trying to resolve what is the potential difference between A and B. For which, let's name this point as C. Let's name this point as D. Okay, you know the current that's flowing through this 1 ohms. Can you see this 1 ohms here, as circled? The current is 2.5 and 1, so the potential across VCA, which is VC minus VA, is just 2.5 volts. And similarly, VCB, the bottom one, can you see here? Here. So it's VCB, which is VC minus VB, which will again be 2.5 volts. Huh? Okay, 1 second. This is 3 ohms, 3 ohm resistance. So 2.5 into 3, it will be 7.5 volts. So then that's when you do it like a linear equation, you want to eliminate C because you want to find the potential difference between V and VB. So basically we are subtracting it so that minus a plus and a minus, so VC and VC get cancelled. Get minus VA plus VB is equal to minus 5. So if you want VA minus VB, it will be 5 volts. Thus you find the potential difference between the points A and B. Very, very important entrance exam question. Okay, schools generally, the sons don't come, they don't ask such questions, but they might, you never know. Physics always is never a consistent paper, they can really make it tough or make it easy, you never know. But when you're preparing for a little higher level, you'll always be able to answer the questions that comes in the school. So the first is just to treat it as a series 1 and 3 ohms and 3 and 1 ohms to be series, then eventually in parallel. To avoid mistakes, you can do 4 into 4 by 4 plus 4. Find the equivalent resistance and find the current, split the current equally on the top and the bottom wing. And then find AC and BC, and that becomes EC. Okay, then this is a repeated question in school exams. Okay, this question is very important, very, very important. And what is this question? The diagram is self-explanatory from the diagram that you have a terminal A, you have a 2 ohms, you have 2 ohms, you have 2 ohms, and there's a terminal B. From this end to this end, you have a wire. To this end to this end, you have a wire. There's no resistance. Okay, that's good. You don't have a resistor there. So this is 2 ohms, this is 2 ohms, and this is an unknown resistance R. Let me think of what could be the question here. Okay, let me redraw this. Let me tell you how to redraw this. Okay, so this is a terminal A. From terminal A, you see how I'm drawing. The terminal A, I'm drawing a taking green wire. It reaches this 2 ohms. And from terminal A, it is also reaching to this and this, which means terminal A is actually connected to 3 resistors, self-explanatory. Can you see? And the terminal B, look at terminal B, take a wire like this. Yes, you have one wire. You have another wire which goes like this and connected to, again, it's connected to all the 3. And therefore, this is terminal A and this terminal B. And reconstructing this drawing leads you to this kind of a drawing. And all the 3 are in parallel. Would you have thought of it looking at this diagram? It's hard. So it's 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Okay. Okay. It's not 2. It's about 2R. Okay. It's given that each resistance are 2R, 2R, and R. Okay. So it's 2R here, it's 2R here, and R here. So 1 by 2R plus 1 by 2R plus 1 by R. So even you do this, you'll forget to reciprocal. Make sure you reciprocal. So it's 2 plus 1, 3, 4. 4, and so it's R by 2 reciprocal. That will be the R equivalent. In case of numericals, you'll know how to plug in the numbers and solve it. Okay, so that's about it. Look at the next. So how do I resolve this? We have only one battery, so there's no question of E1 plus E2 or E1 minus E2 potential. So no such confusions here. So we are going to find R equivalent first and basically find the current through each resistor. I think so. The question goes like that. So you can guess the question by looking at the way I've answered. So then this battery R1, okay. Can you see that I can treat R3, R4 and R2, all of them in parallel. R3, R4, R2, all of them. First thing you would think that R3 and R4 in parallel and you try to write it in series with R2. It is not possible because at A is getting split. So R2, R3, R4 all of them in parallel, and eventually the R1 it will be in series. So 1 by R2 plus 1 by R3 plus 1 by R4, and all the values have been given. It's got cut off here, but you can understand that R1 is 4 ohms, R2 is equal to R3 is equal to 15 ohms. Yeah, you can infer from here R2 is equal to R3 is equal to 15 ohms, and R4 is equal to 30 ohms. So substituting this value, we get the equivalent resistance in parallel to be 6 ohms. That with the R1, which 4 ohms, is in series. So therefore it's 10 ohms, and the total voltage V is actually 10 volts. I am not written here. This E has to be 10 volts. So in that case, it's a V by R. V is 10 volts by total equivalent resistance 10. That's 1 amp is the current that's flowing through. Okay, the moment you find 1 amp to be the current that's flowing through the circuit, you can just think of the way in which the current is going to get split. Okay, the potential drop across is 1 amp is the current, which is 1 in this resistance. Okay, 1 second, give me a minute, let me figure out what I've done. 1 into 6 volts. You know the current that is flowing through is 1 amp, and okay, current that's, how to take a potential drop to be 6 volts. Okay. Let me figure out what I've done. I've got V by R, so that you know the current that is flowing through is 1 amp through the circuit. The potential drop across, what have I done here? It's 6 volts. So you're directly considering I2 is 6 by, what is the resistance, the specific resistance of R2. R2 in itself is equal to R3 is equal to 15 ohms. So how did you know that the potential drop across this, because whatever is the potential drop across this, sorry, what did I do? Press this down. Sorry guys, okay. So whatever is the potential drop across this would be equal to the potential drop across R2, because they both are parallel. Will be the same as potential drop across R4, the same as potential drop across R3, because therefore I need to have a potential drop across the primary circuit, which according to me is this. A potential drop across this is what I'm looking for. I know the current, and how do I find? I have to get the question here. And that's the whole issue. I just need to find the question at the E's value. I have not written the E's value, so it's hard for me to search for the question now. And how did I get this to be 1 into 6? 1 into 6. Current is 1. 6 if it is 6. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. The equivalent resistance is 6 ohms. Can you see the equivalent resistance of the entire setup is 6 ohms? The entire current is 1, and therefore the entire equivalent voltage at this part will be 6 volts. Oh, that was good. That was good. You understand what I'm saying? I forgot that the equivalent resistance was 6 ohms. And when you calculate the equivalent resistance is 6 ohms, that's only considering this parallel portion, only considering this portion, you know, R2, R4 and R3 alone, only considering R2, R3 and R4 alone, the equivalent resistance was 6 ohms. Stop with that, and with that when you put the current's value, you know it is 1 amp is the total current, you get a 6 volt, and so the potential across R3 will be 6 volts, potential difference across R4 will be 6 volts, potential difference across R2 will be 6 volts, and hence therefore the potential difference across R1 and the battery will also be put together 6 volts. You know, the parallel connection. So what are we doing? There's quite a trick. You are finding the equivalent resistance of the entire setup, then calculating the current, and once you find the current, you're going to this part of the story, only to the parallel connections, finding the equivalent resistance, and you found it to be 6 ohms, and that into current, that into current is 1 amp. So 6 volts is individually across AB, across this diagonal, that is R4 and R3, it's all 6 volts, 6 volts. So then therefore, even across this wing, it has got to be, the net potential has to be 6 volts. And so then, the current, and so then individually multiply, you can find the individual resistance, the individual resistances, and therefore you can find the individual currents. The voltage is 6 volts, so I is equal to V by R, so 6 by 15, forget about R1, 6 by 15 is what is R2, 6 by 30 will be the current through R4, 6 by 10 will be the current through R3, etc. That was a very, very interesting sum, quite a tricky sum, where you're finding the equivalent resistance in general and find the current, and after finding the current, you're trying to take only the right part here and finding the equivalent, stopping with the equivalent resistance of that, which happens to 6 ohms. That is the equivalent resistance. So which will be the equivalent resistance of, that is the equivalent resistance of that part, and the total current that's flowing in into that is just what did I say? It was just 1 amp, is it? Yeah, 1 amps. The current that is flowing in initially is 1 amps. So then the total resistance into total current will give me the potential, which will be the potential across R2, R3 and R4. Quite a tricky sum, okay? So make sure you're clear with this. So next comes heating effect of electric current, numericals with this. This is again very important for entrance exams. Okay, just don't prepare for just your school exams, not going to help you in any way. So then entrance is very, very critical, at least from now onwards, because it's total confusion in terms of evaluation in school. A heating element of 210 volts, 630 watts, which is the current drawn. What is the current drawn? Okay, a heating element is 210 volts and 630 watts. So voltage and power is given. When voltage and power is given, you should know this formula: P is equal to VI. Okay, always remember that P is equal to VI. Okay, you've learned this, right? You've learned all this here. That the heating effect is I square RT in 10th standard, and the heat produced is nothing but work done. So power in itself is the power rate at which work is done. So I square RT by T. So power is nothing but I square R. So you have two formula, because you know that I is also V is also IR. So if you plug in IR here, it will become I square R. In I is also V by R. So you can write just V square by R square by R. So it's V square by R. So you have different formulas, and let's see how we are going to apply these formulas. Okay. So P can be written as VI, P can be written as VI or I square R, or P can be written as V square by R. So there are so many ways in which you can write P, and let's see which formulas you plug in there. So the heating element here, V is given, power is given. The moment power is given and voltage is given, you can immediately find the value of current that is flowing through the circuit, correct? What is the current drawn by the element when connected to 200